Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Nick. This video I'm going to show you how I built and put together my fertility idol from Raiders of the Lost Ark. So for this project, I 3D printed it, I painted it, and then I put some weight to it. Right now it weighs about 4 to 5 pounds or so. It adds a little bit of weight, makes it feel a little more real, and I like how it turned out. It turned out pretty good. Alright, so let me show you guys how I did it. The process for this took a couple of months, so the videos are kind of like all over the place in time, but it is chronologically in the correct order. So, let's see what happens.
What about that one couple? Hey, Morgan.
Are there other women?
God, what do you even do?
On this one, I spackled it and I sanded it a bit. Did a lot of sanding on it. I still got some more sanding to do. This one, I've just put the spackling on top of it to fill in the holes. I realize I probably don't have to sand it yet. I can go ahead and put it together, I think. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this stuff, that's what these two bottles are, and I'm going to put them together. I'm gonna try to mix them correctly, and then we're going to put them inside of the models to hopefully add some weight to the model. So that's what we're gonna try to do right now. I've never done this before. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna just try it and see what happens. So we'll see how this goes. Do not allow mixture to sit or it will harden, to overheat or become hot to the touch. Does that mean it's gonna melt my model? We got about one shot at this. That's fantastic. Alright, so this is what I've done. I basically opened up the middle part. I left a little bit so I could still glue around the edges, and I should be able to glue with the resin there when it dries. So let's see what happens. Take both of these, put equal parts in each. Side A. Hope this works. I'm gonna wear gloves. That seems like a good idea right now. We're gonna do half a cup of this stuff. Half a cup of the hardener, side B. And I have to start mixing it for 6 minutes. I don't know how this is gonna work because a lot of when we made the model, we tried to make it to where it was the internal structures were as open as possible. But we'll just have to see what happens. The mixture. I'm gonna pour it, I guess? I don't know, we'll see what happens. Not 100% sure about this yet. Looks like it's sinking in there pretty well. Hey, buddy, okay. Bad time, bad time, bad time, bad time, bad time, bad. I can't tell if it doesn't look like it's melting anything, so that's good. Definitely seems heavier. You can hear sounds, you hear noises, bubbling. I just got my fingers crossed it's not melting through the other side of the model. So bad news, the resin is actually eating through the model. As you can see, the resin is just dripping right on through the model. Look at that drip right there. So that's kind of annoying. I don't really quite understand why. I don't know a lot about resin. I'm assuming probably that the resin is too hot and it's melting, and it's just melting right through the model, which, good thing I only did this on one side because I have the other side still okay and intact. So I think I'm gonna have to put this on pause. I'm gonna start over and do it again. It went in here fine, but I guess I either didn't fill in all the holes or I don't know. I'm not really sure. Hey, okay, so I've already printed it out. I've sanded it a little bit already, and I've glued it together already. I printed this out in 2 halves. So I printed this out in 2 halves. I printed it at a 0.1 layer height only because the first time I did it, I printed it at a 0.2, which looked fine, but the grooves on the surface of the printing were really big. So I went ahead and did it at a 0.1. It took a little bit longer, but at the end of the day, it wasn't that bad. It took like 20 hours for each side, and then I just glued them together. I've already started sanding it a little bit. I'm gonna continue sanding it, but I've done a little bit of work on it so far. I'm really liking it so far. I'm happy that I printed it at a 0.1. It did take a lot longer, but it is a lot more, it's way easier to sand at 0.1 versus 0.2. So pretty happy with it so far. Another thing with the 0.1 layer height, it helped clear up a lot of issues with the details. The inside of things are a lot smoother, so I don't have to worry about that so much. Like the inside of the mouth, the shoulder, where the hair, the shoulder and the neck meet, it's a lot smoother, and then the inside of the ears, as well as where the chest and the legs meet as well. Everything's a lot more smoother, a whole lot more cleaner. So I would suggest doing it that way, but you know, it wasn't that bad. It's pretty good. All right, I'm gonna continue doing this. I'm gonna continue I'm gonna continue sanding it down, getting it really nice and smooth, adding some spackle, and then sanding that down as well. I've already started doing that, and that's real smooth so far. So we're gonna keep going, and we'll be back. Alright, so a quick update. I reprinted the model. This is the other model that I had. I reprinted it with this red translucent filament, which I actually like a lot because I actually can see through it a little bit when there's light behind it. So for instance, it's kind of hard to see, but if you have a lot of light behind it, you can see right through it. So when I fill it, I can actually see where I'm filling it, and I can see where is full and where is not full. So I can make sure I can fill it as much as I can without having to guess if it's in certain spots and whatnot. Though this print worked out a heck of a lot better than these guys did. Now these I printed in half. Remember, I printed these in half and I had to glue them together. The problem that I kept having is I kept having the seam under here, and I kept having a seam right here also, which was really super aggravating because I could never get in there to sand that down fully. What I decided to do was I was just gonna print it again, and I was gonna print it standing up. So I had all kinds of support here, in the back, under the chin. The texture under the chin isn't actually all that bad either. I can sand that down pretty easily. It was a lot better than I had expected it to be. But this print looks a whole lot better than the other ones did as far as the type of filament. I still did it at a 0.2. I went back to a 0.2 layer height, and it already feels really smooth. I don't know if it's the type of filament or if it's a different variable, but it's already pretty smooth. I don't have to do too much work as far as like filling and sanding, so that's exciting. But I'm gonna fill it first before I do anything else to it because I want to be able to fill it while I can still see through it, then I'll be able to paint it. So that's gonna be next. Yep. Okay, so real quick, what I got is I'm going to drill into the bottom of the foot, into the feet here. I'm using sand that I've already dried out, so it's really super fine sand, and it has no moisture in it at all. I'm gonna use a funnel. I'm gonna see if that works. It should be fine. Hopefully it works. this point, it's really heavy. I've gotten it almost full. I'm about right there as far as filling it. I'm gonna try to fill it up as much as I can with the sand. Then I might put some filling material in there to kind of expand, and just a little bit, just to kind of, maybe some expanding foam or something to put in there to kind of just push all the, because I really don't want it to rattle. That's the goal. I don't want it to rattle. So I'm gonna keep doing this until it's totally full to the very tippy top and I can't fit any more in there. Then I'm gonna finish it off and sand it over, but I just gotta let it dry first, so, and we'll see where we're at. Yeah. All right, so I got model. It's all full. Those are the holes that I used to fill it. It's all filled in. It looks pretty good. It's full, it's totally, and it doesn't rattle very much at all, which is great. It doesn't rattle at all, almost, so that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and start to fill it with the spray paint. I'm gonna put on some filler primer, and then wait. I think I'm gonna put on 3 coats of filler primer at least. I'll put on a light coat, then a heavier coat, then possibly another coat, and then we're gonna wet sand the model. So that's how I put it together. That's how I put this thing together. It does weigh about 5 pounds right now. You can still see kind of like the remnants of how I filled it at the bottom there. It did take me a couple of shots to put this together. It was very difficult to find a way to print it that wasn't going to cause problems with sanding or smoothing it out and whatnot. I even actually tried to use a resin smoothing material, the XTC30. It works fine. The issue though is that even still in here and under the chin and like in these crevices, I had a lot of trouble still getting to those because if there's drips or anything, it still isn't possible to sand it. So I just ended up going back to what I had before and not worrying about it. So the final piece that you see in the video is still this one. After I did that, I did a different one with the smooth on stuff, which is great, a great product. I like it. It just, I had a lot of trouble with these small crevices. Also, as you saw in the video, I put together one of these guys, a little base for it. I added a whole bunch of moss to it to add a little bit more of like a realistic setting for the prop. So this is how I set it on my shelf. This base was super easy to print out. I found it on Thingiverse. The person who put it on Thingiverse, thanks so much. You are awesome. I will link you in the description so that other people can find your base. But the base was really good. I just put like a huge thick coat of that textured spray paint on it. It literally looks like stone. It is insane how stone-like this is. And then I added a whole bunch of moss to it. And the glue that I used, I'll try to link it if I can find it, looks like water, or like it makes the rock look wet, which is pretty neat. So that's what I did. I'll show you guys what that looks like, but this was it. I like it so much. I think it looks really good. I would probably change the tinting that I did for the gold a little bit, but I'm still pretty happy with what it looks like. I got it as shiny as I could. It was a little tricky, but I got it as shiny as I could. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I do appreciate it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the video. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. That'd be great. That has helped me out a lot and encouraged me to make more videos. And hopefully I can make more videos like this. And we'll see you guys real soon. Thanks so much. Bye.